Hello and welcome. I'm Jennifer Roig-Francolí, the Art of Freedom coach for musicians. And today I want to talk to you about a very sadly, very common problem that many musicians face. Professionals, amateurs, all kinds of musicians can end up having pain when they play. And that causes so many problems. It causes, obviously, lots of physical problems with the instrument. It gets in the way of your technique. Lots of times people even have to stop playing or reducing the amount of time they're with their instrument. Professionals have to often back out of gigs, go on, put their career on hold. And that can be really scary for a professional. And because you don't know what's going to happen with your, excuse me, I still have a residual cough from COVID a few weeks ago. I'm ready for it to be completely gone. Forgive me. So yes, for a career musician, that can be really terrifying if you have pain over time and you worry that it's going to get worse. And you do lots of workarounds when you're practicing. You don't practice as much as you'd like or you think you should. And then when you're in the rehearsals or concerts, you're maybe, especially in rehearsals, you might be sort of holding back in certain places to protect your hands, your fingers, your back, your neck, whatever is causing you pain. And I think the scariest thing really is not knowing what lies in the future for you. And that's not just professionals, that's amateurs. Amateurs love making music because it's just such a wonderful thing. And if you're an amateur and you start having pain down the road, sooner or later you might wonder whether it's actually worth playing your instrument. And that can just be really sad because a lot of amateurs pick up music just, for something to do that is pleasurable, beautiful, inspiring, keeps your mind alive and keeps you connecting with other people who are musicians with similar interests. And then if you start having pain or excess tension when you're playing and suddenly you have to, cancel your get together with your chamber group, your friends who are maybe having a dinner party and afterwards you're making music together, or maybe you play in the local chamber orchestra or symphony orchestra and you have to keep saying no when they call you, and then maybe you're worried if they're going to keep calling you. So I think if you're a musician and you're watching this and you have pain, you know how horrible that can be, what the effects can be. Obviously the pain itself is, to say nothing of that, it is personally scary because you're, losing facility in your hands or in your body for everyday life, not just for your music. So pain can be really scary. So in this video, I want to talk about three of the main reasons, or three ways that this shows up and the three top reasons that cause this. But I really want to focus especially on one big obstacle that keeps you stuck in this vicious pain cycle that I'll talk about. So I'm not going to dwell much on the three biggest reasons. I think it's kind of a no-brainer when you think about it, but you may never have put them into these categories before. So just really briefly, the three biggest ways that pain can show up are caused to: 1, overuse; 2, underuse. Very unusual in professionals, I have to say, because professional musicians tend to work really hard. We have long rehearsals. Freelancers want to get as many gigs as possible. People in the professional symphony orchestras may have endless rehearsals and lots of shows, and there's just a lot of performing, a lot of practicing that goes into having a professional music career. So it's much more likely that a professional is suffering from overuse than underuse. And but I just needed to mention that because if you are not playing much and you take a long time off and then you dive in without thinking of yourself as an athlete who needs to slowly ease back into your athletic movements, then you're much more prone to injury. So we really do need to consider ourselves as athletes. We are elite athletes that use micro movements with our fingers and vocal cords, maybe if you're a singer. So, but yes, because we are athletes, we need to really take care of this instrument, the mind, body, self, and take care of it in lots of. So I'm not going to go into self-care of this mind, body, self instrument right now, but I just wanted to really highlight that we are athletes and we need to think of ourselves that way. So easing back into playing, maybe this, I'm making this video now at the end of the summer. Maybe some people have taken some time off. Maybe you've gone on vacation with your family and you didn't bring your instrument. Most professionals don't dare to do that, but if you did have the courage to do that, first of all, I applaud you for taking the time off. But most people don't really take a break, and so again, underuse is not usually a problem. But if you did take time off, you want to ease gently back into playing your instrument. Otherwise, you can risk injuring yourself. Excuse me again. So we have overuse, very common, very, very, very common. Underuse, not common in professionals, maybe more common in amateurs. You really do need to watch it. If you're an amateur and you don't play regularly, just go easy on yourself. You don't have to play more often, but when you get back into playing, just go easy. Less is more, and you're protecting yourself when you do that. Take lots and lots of breaks, whether you're an amateur or professional. Very, very important and easily forgotten because we get sucked into the pleasure of what we're doing and the excitement of the music and the puzzle and the challenge of fixing the things that we don't like. So you can get sucked into what you're doing and forget to take breaks. So that is my number one first tip right now to everybody out there, to take care of yourself, prevent injury, and also to heal from injury if you're getting back into playing. Take breaks, even when you think you don't need them. Okay. Now the third reason, and actually this is the number one reason, because even if you don't play very often, it's underuse, and even if you play way more than is reasonable, and that's overuse, if you have excellent skills, which we call in the Alexander technique world, good use of yourself. If you are not misusing this instrument of the mind, body, self, and you are on an everyday basis throughout your everyday activities, really paying attention to how you use yourself, how you're thinking, how you're moving, how you're reacting to things that happen to you, how you're reacting to feelings. And because this video is particularly about pain, this is really important. I want to highlight this right now. If you're taking notes, write this down. You want to get very, very curious about how you are reacting to your pain. What are your thoughts about it? What are your emotions about the pain? I mentioned before that it can be really scary. There can be a lot of worry associated with this. There can even be a lot of guilt when people have pain and they can't practice as much as they think they should, or they're skipping rehearsals, or they're not able to show up to some of the gigs or the shows. There can be a lot of underlying feelings of guilt, which is, I think, really sad and unnecessary. But you've got to pay attention to those things. How are you reacting to the pain? And when it comes to healing pain, this is extremely important information to get to know your habits of how you react to things. Now, my work is all about putting smaller things into a bigger context, seeing the symptoms and putting them into, again, a bigger, wider, broader, and deeper context, so that we don't just see something happening like, oh, I have shoulder pain, oh, I have neck pain, oh, I have a bad back, I have bad knees. First of all, do not blame your body. This is not your body's fault. These are symptoms. This is just where the problem is showing up in your body. But pain is never just a physical thing. Like I just said, there are emotions, there are thoughts, there are feelings, there are all kinds of things that are wrapped up into the pain experience. But what we often miss, what unfortunately most people miss most of the time, is that when you experience physical pain, it's never just physical, and the source of the pain is almost never where you think it is. Of course, if you stepped on a nail and you see the nail and you have pain, it's pretty clear that the source of the pain is the nail. But who stepped on the nail, and what caused you to step on the nail? Were you not paying attention? Possibly. The nail probably didn't just jump up out of the earth. Yeah. I'm not trying to blame anybody. I want to also emphasize this very, very much, because my work is holistic. It is a mind, body, spirit type of work. And it's really easy for people to jump to the conclusion that when I say there are emotions and psychological things that go along with pain, to jump to the conclusion that I am blaming the person for how they think, and therefore blaming them for having the pain. No, very, very, very far from that. I am not blaming you for your pain. On the contrary, I want to help you stop blaming yourself for the pain. Let's let go of the guilt. Let's let go of what happened. The past is over. It's gone. Whatever led to the pain is over. Whether it was you or someone else, or too many college classes and too many rehearsals in your orchestra, and it's the administration's fault. Yes, there are all kinds of reasons you're in pain, and they're not all your reason, not all your fault. But let's just let go of blame 100% and recognize that the past is over, the future isn't here yet, and the solution to what you're experiencing must be found here and now. And I guarantee that you have the keys to solving this problem. In the absence of extreme chronic pain that perhaps is hereditary, or maybe there's a disease that I am in no way implying that the work that I do with anybody is guaranteed to help you out of pain. But I do guarantee to my students, whenever they sign up with me, I do, especially in my intro programs, like 100% money back guarantee, because I guarantee that things will improve for you when you learn my system. So, overuse, underuse, misuse of yourself. That is the biggest one. And what exactly do I mean by misuse? I mean misuse of how you're, let's see, how can I put it? There's so many ways I could say this. What's the simplest, quickest, easiest way to get this point across? Misuse of yourself is when you are using your mind, body, self as a whole in a way that's out of alignment or inconsistent with how you are designed to function naturally. I strongly believe that we are beautifully designed to function optimally. And yes, injury and disease can get in the way of that. But we have so much untapped potential in our brains to begin with, in our minds. We have so much power to change and alter the course of our future. In the next moment, in this moment right now is when we can do it. But the future isn't written yet, unless you're a total fatalist and you're convinced that everything is going to go in a way that you have no control over, and then maybe don't work with me, because it's going to be impossible if you're not open to learning and you're not open to at least entertaining the possibility that things could be a little different from how you might assume that they are now and live that they are. You need to open up to all possibility, and the possibility that you, your brain, your whole system may have amazing, incredible, miraculous keys to solve this problem that you're having right now. Whether it's a small problem that just started the other day and maybe your finger is sore, you have a pinched nerve or something. Well, pinched nerve can derail a career. Also, actually, I think Hilary Hahn, famous, well-known violinist right now, has been taking some time off from her top performance career. She's like at the top of the world in her career, in her field as a classical violinist, and she's had to take some time off, unfortunately, from a pinched nerve. So I don't mean to minimize a pinched nerve. That can derail things too. And whenever something is holding you back from really enjoying your music fully and freely in your body and your mind and your emotions, there's likely to be an element of misuse of yourself. So that's what I'm interested in, and that's what I teach my students. The keys are inside of you, and that doesn't mean that you don't need help. That doesn't mean that doctors are unnecessary anymore. Thank God for doctors and surgeons and pills and all the things that we might need at some point down the road. And I do always recommend that you go to a doctor to get a diagnosis if you're experiencing significant pain for any length of time. Okay? Unfortunately, I think a lot of surgeries, if not most, that musicians undergo are probably unnecessary. And I've had a lot of experience with musicians who have had pain that seemed really serious, and maybe they even had a scheduled surgery in their calendar. But then, after working with me and learning the Art of Freedom method and touch-free Alexander technique that is involved in that, their pain starts to go away very quickly. And in fact, on day one of working with me, students universally experience a shift, a change in their experience, mentally, emotionally, and physically, that takes them in a radically different direction in a very subtle way, but it's in a way that they can sense. So they know on day one that things are shifting. And you know, the wonderful thing about that is that when you're in pain, it's hard to feel hopeful when things hurt. And on day one of working with me, because the shift is so clear and my students can sense the change very quickly, within minutes, because of that, it quickly inspires hope. And I feel like that is one of my biggest purposes here in coaching musicians, and also in just being myself and living my life. I love to open myself up to being inspired, and I could say hours and hours and hours about that, but I do what I do for myself first. I let go of the stuff that gets in the way of being inspired. I let ideas come through. I didn't plan this video. I just had a few notes. I thought about it a couple hours ago. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to take all the notes, and I'm just going to go live, and I'll trust that ideas will come to me. That's one of my gifts. It's one of the things I actually share with my students, step by step, how to do that, how to access inspiration. So allowing inspiration to come through and it's like when that happens, it's exciting, it's wonderful, it feels good, and it's uplifting. And as soon as that happens, there is room for more hope and enthusiasm and encouragement. People who are burned out in their music, or they dread going into the practice room because it hurts. Wouldn't you love to quickly and easily have a shift that you're in charge of doing for yourself, because you are doing a very simple practice that I teach you and show you, and to feel on the first day that, I think things might be turning around for me. I can't wait to find out what's next, because this is really interesting. This is what happens to my students universally, very quickly. And I would love, love, love to share that with you. If you are a musician of any kind, any skill level, any instrument, I am very comfortable working with top elite professional musicians. I'm a violinist myself. At a very high level, had a lot of success in my career. Performed at Carnegie Hall. I've won international competitions, played as soloist with Berlin Symphony Orchestra, Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra, lots of other symphonies, groups like that. I have the background as a performer, and I'm also a double certified Alexander technique teacher, so I have the practical mind-body expertise. I have about 9 additional years of training with my partner Mia Morales, who's a master Alexander teacher who has created his own offshoot of that. I like to say an evolution of that into what he calls Primal Alexander, which doesn't use touch. I do this with my students every day. I've been teaching online since 2012, exclusively since 2018. I have private coaching students. I have a thriving group. But so that's just a little bit about me. Anyway, I have programs that can help you very quickly to solve this pain problem. It makes me sad that people tend to find what I'm doing and they find what I'm doing pretty quickly, but in many cases it takes years for people, years of suffering, of trying all these other things, like going to doctors, going to specialists, doing physical therapy, doing regular massage, going to chiropractors, all these things that have merit, absolutely. There's a place for all of these things. And yet, I wish that the people who finally decide to come to me because they're in pain and the other things haven't worked, I wish they would not wait so long and just come and try the Art of Freedom method and Primal Alexander with me sooner, because why waste so much time suffering and worrying? And it's a lot of money also to, commit to massages for the rest of your life, or commit to chiropractic for the rest of your life, or acupuncture, or whatever it is that you enjoy doing or that you find helpful. Again, those things can be very helpful, but do you really want to need to do those for the rest of your life? And do you really want to risk a surgery that might not be necessary? There are serious risks to surgeries like that. There are also risks to medication. A lot of medication can be very helpful in the short term. Of course, you take ibuprofen. Occasionally I take ibuprofen and the pain is usually gone pretty soon. Now, I don't have serious pain, thank God. And there can be very serious pain that, thank goodness for pain medication. But wouldn't it be nice if you could entertain the possibility that maybe, no matter what the issue is, maybe, quite possibly, you could reduce the pain medication, or maybe even not need it anymore. Wouldn't that be nice? And you wouldn't have to worry about the side effects. Okay. So again, there are no guarantees, and I am in no means saying that I can get you off of medication or solve your problem or cure whatever you're dealing with. That would be totally unethical of me. I will not do that. But I can, in total confidence. What can I in total confidence? I can promise you that if you do what I share and practice what I teach, and try it out, and you do it in the way that I'm teaching consistently, and it only takes a few minutes every day to do the practices that I teach with all my, share with all of my students. If you do those, I can guarantee that you will improve. You will feel differently in your life, and you will feel more hopeful. That's my hope for you. I want you to feel hopeful, inspired, and I want you to have tools that are practical, that you can use every single day, that are not time-consuming, but that are guaranteed to take you in a more positive direction. When you are in pain, it's really hard to stay positive and hopeful. And that can lead a lot of people to mental health issues like anxiety and depression, and I'd love to be able to help you avoid that or help lift you up out of that if you are in that for yourself right now. You don't need to be down there. I love helping people have a happier life and a more positive outlook. There's scientific research that says, people who are more positive and happier have less pain and live longer and have better lives. So wouldn't you like to be one of those if you aren't already? You don't want to have to suffer from the quality of your music going down, right? When you are not at your best, you don't enjoy making your music as much. It doesn't sound as good. And you're doing workarounds like maybe avoiding your fourth finger or avoiding double stops or, avoiding certain leaps on your instrument. You're more careful when you're in pain. So the quality of your music is going down, and that can lower your morale because you're not playing at the level that you could be, and you're missing out on practice time. Having pain, discomfort in your body is a huge part of, it's a huge contributor to performance anxiety. A lot of people have both. And so my work really does help with performance anxiety. And a lot of people who come to me without pain, and I help them with their performance anxiety. So I have lots and lots of experience helping people get out of anxiety and overcome those emotional challenges. So it's holistic work. It's about the physical body, improving poor posture. You want to be aligned and free and movable and fluid, accessing a flow state, getting into the zone. And a lot of it is attitude. That's where we start. Alexander said you must start with a mental attitude. So I have 5 life pillars. Purpose is the first one. We need to think about purpose and why we're doing what we do. And if you don't know why, I'll help you think about it. And you don't even need to know why, but thinking about it is important, and wondering like a child is super helpful. So purpose, mind, body, spirit, they go together. They can't be separated. You can't be a creative artist with enthusiasm and joy and life spirit without creative spirit. So that's always part of my programs. And then artistry. Yes, you do need to understand how to play your instrument with healthy technique. Now, I don't play every instrument. I'm a violinist and a Baroque violinist, and I don't play anything else, but I have helped hundreds of musicians that are not violinists and violists on very specific details of their instrumental technique, because I'm looking at this instrument and I know how to experiment and help students find the better way to play their instrument for their bodies, not the way that everybody says you should play your instrument, and not the way that everybody says you should, the posture that everybody says is right. I'm not about that. Let's find what works well for your body that sounds great on your instrument. So it's very personalized work. I'm going to finish up now by telling you that I have a couple openings in my private coaching studio right now. I have a special program that is shorter than my premium program, and I really wanted to tell you about that today. I've been talking in the last few weeks a lot and writing a lot on Facebook posts and in my emails. I've been writing a lot about my 6-month premium private coaching program that takes people all the way through all 3 stages of learning: self-ease, musical integration, and artistic transformation. And all of my programs deal with all 3 of those, but the 6-month premium private coaching really covers all of it, the whole scope of everything that I have to offer, and takes you, from feeling in pain to totally transforming your music making at a deep, high level of expertise in 6 months. But I also have, and this is what I want to highlight today, and this is what I'm offering especially this month over the next couple of weeks. It's now September 2024. If you're watching this at any other time, just get in touch with me and ask me what I'm offering currently. But right now, I have a couple openings for my 4-month private coaching program, and it's really a fantastic program. And if you have pain, I can, again, maybe not that, let me put it this way. I have a lot of students. I've had lots of students. I can think of one off the top of my head, Serena. She came to me with so much pain that she basically couldn't play at all anymore without pain. She couldn't practice 5 minutes without pain. And another student, Vicky, comes to mind too. This is a very similar story. And I'm thinking of like 2 or 3 more. It's a common thing when people come to me for pain. Anyway, Serena basically couldn't play her instrument. And she was even in a new master's program considering going into music history instead of performance as a backup plan because she wasn't being able to perform without pain. And she had tried everything before she found me. This was a few years ago, her story, so I can't remember exactly the things she tried, but I remember so well. She came and told me, we had a conversation, she said, I've tried everything. I'm sure she tried doctor, chiropractor, massage, acupuncture, probably all kinds of other things too, and nothing helped. So she was about to quit, and she reached out to me. She found me on social media probably, or found my website, and said, okay, listen, I am going to go all in. She didn't really have the money. She was a student, but she said, I'm going to find the money. I am going to get a loan, do whatever it takes. I think she just went into debt for a while. But she had an intuitive sense that this was going to help her, and she was right. So she started one of my coaching programs, and within a few weeks, I believe, she was playing 5 to 10 minutes at her without pain on her viola. And within another few weeks, she was playing half an hour. After that, she was playing an hour, pain-free. And after a few months, she was just like posting all over social media that she had played her first gig. It was like a double service, and she had no pain. She didn't have to ice afterwards. And not only that, no performance anxiety. She totally enjoyed those services. She felt great. She had an amazing time. And you know what she started doing after finishing her coaching program with me? She moved to a different city, different state, and put into motion her own music school for children to teach them how to play their instruments in a way that would prevent pain and injury and promote joy. So that, to me, it says it all. And she's not an isolated case. I've had so many students come to me. She was a professional at that point. She was gigging. She was making money. That's how I define a professional, by the way. If somebody is out there being paid for their services, to me, that's a professional. So, whatever level you're at. So, she's an amazing story, not an isolated case. If you'd like to read more testimonials, I have lots of them on my website. And please reach out to me if you're curious about working with me. What you can do, the fastest way to do that is to just drop a comment below this post. If you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube, just type the word info into the comments below, and I will get in touch with you and share information with you, and we can have a chat about your unique situation. I might ask you how long you've had your pain, how it shows up, and just some details about your situation so that I can make sure that my work is right for you. You can make sure that I'm the right coach for you, obviously. So just type info or send me a private message through Facebook Messenger, or send me an email to jennifer@artoffreedom.me. You can even just put the word info in the email subject. You don't even need to write me an email. Just send me an email with info in the subject, and I'll know what that's about, and I'll get in touch with you, and we can have a conversation about possibilities. So that's it for today. I wanted to talk about pain and how I have a solution for you, no matter how it's showing up, and it's going to be a holistic solution that is going to take you into feeling so much better in your body and your mind and your emotions and your creative spirit. So this is a comprehensive way of helping you out of pain that is really easy, simple. It's tried and true. It's proven. It works. I have tons of stories to back it up. So please reach out if you're curious at all, and we'll be in touch. Okay? So enjoy the rest of your day. Take this seriously, and yeah, let's have fun together. Talk to you soon. Lots of love. Bye-bye.